So here's a movie I feel like doesn't get enough hate. Like a lot of people really jumped on this movie and was like, "This is a bad interpretation of the Grinch. Look at him. He doesn't even have termites in his smile. And he's so fluffy," which is valid. That's valid criticism for sure. This is an awful version of the character, but I don't see a lot of people go into just how bad of a movie this actually is. I don't even hate Illumination. I like a decent amount of their movies, honestly. Like I thought the Mario movie was great. Despicable Me 1, solid. Everyone likes Despicable Me 1. You know, I like Sing. I think the Sing movies are excellent. I'm down for like a D-list movie. Like honestly, I'm not asking for a good movie in this case. I'm asking for a movie where literally anything happens. It's unbelievable how much padding is in this movie. I can't think of many other movies where just straight up nothing happens like in this movie. It's like shocking. Which the answer for why is obvious. The original Grinch animated short was a short, 26 minutes long. They took that, made it 85 minutes, and added straight up nothing to the story. One silver lining about all these awful remakes is that it's making me really appreciate the original movies or even video games at this point way more than I ever did before, even in cases where I already loved the original media. You grow up with something, you watch it a million times, you start taking it for granted. Even if you love it, you know, you don't really think about it anymore because you've been watching this movie for 20 years. It's a cool movie, classic movie, cool. But when you see something like a remake or a retelling or just rehash, then you see it take stuff the original movies or games do, and it just makes it so much worse, just mangles it, and suddenly the efforts that the original team put in are so clear. You could see where it could have gone wrong. It's that whole concept of like, oh yeah, if you do your job right, then no one will know you're doing your job at all kind of thing. But anyway, that said, this movie's like a weird little twist of the usual formula of remakes. Oh, here's a live action version of an animated classic that completely butchers it, makes the movie longer, and then the story is just awful, the character's awful, blah blah blah. But now it's reverse, because I'm talking mostly about the live action movie, the Jim Carrey one. It's like 20 minutes longer than the Illumination one, yet there's like no downtime. They fill up the space, they adapt the story, they adapt as much as they could from the original story, and then filled in the blanks to make it an actual movie. And beyond that, there's characters in the movie. Why that's how low the bar is. The live action movie has characters in it. They ironically adapted the wacky Dr. Seuss vibe and aesthetic in live action a million times better than this animated version. Why is that even possible? That shouldn't be the case. But the live action one is so creative. Like, they got this, like, straight away you go in, a tiny little dude jumps out of this dude. What am I saying? The town was so lively and filled with so many people that all had such fun costumes. They all had these wacky little Dr. Seussian devices they were playing around with. Like, this lady's wearing fucking pudding on her head. The Illumination one, in contrast, is so sterile. It's like a generic Christmas postcard because there's no actual direction in the story. There's nothing you're trying to say here. In the live action one, the Who Town is like Christmas fanatics. They are insane. The entire story is about how they've completely lost their minds about how much they love Christmas to like a cartoonish degree. To the point where we're almost rooting for the Grinch at some points. Like when he has his little meltdown about how much he hates Christmas, you're borderline on his side. Really. Jim Carrey Grinch has a genuine hatred for the people in this town and how they behave. You can empathize with him and be on his side, even if you're a huge Christmas fan. This town's just insane, right? And they even fill up, they expand on that by having Cindy Lou go around interviewing people in the town who went to school with the Grinch. He didn't always hate Christmas. Oh, why did he hate Christmas? Oh, because people are awful. The very people who he grew up with, who bullied him on a daily basis at school, who gave him this hatred of consumerist, superficial culture, went on to grow up and be the mayor of the town. And I think it's really cool that they frame learning about the Grinch's history here as Cindy Lou wanting to know more about the Grinch, because she's the only one in this entire town who's not absolutely psychotic about Christmas. Like, she's just talking to her dad like, what? Why is everyone like this? It's not all that, man. Why are they like this? And you can't even say the Grinch's name without the entire town shutting down in a panic. Like, you know what? I'll say it. He sounds based. He doesn't like Christmas? Well, maybe I don't either, if this is what Christmas is. My goodness, you know? And it gives Cindy Lou something to do throughout this whole movie. It gives her an actual connection to the Grinch and plot relevance. In the Illumination movie, I swear most of this movie is her planning to stay up at night and talk to Santa Claus. That is the plot of this movie. Cindy Lou planning to stay up and talk to Santa Claus. Any other version of this story ever conceived by man, that's just something that happens. Like, the live action one has that scene where she's up at night and talks to him, and it's 20 minutes longer than the Illumination one, yet they didn't waste any time with that. You don't have to explain why somebody's awake. And even without a single second being dedicated to explaining why she's awake, it's still a cool character moment, because when you think about it, they just showed, like, her parents, well, they hear the Grinch land on their house, and then they think it's Santa, and they're like, it's Santa, get back to sleep. But the completely disillusioned with Christmas, Cindy Lou, is not participating in that whole thing. She's just awake. Like, it's not that deep. Why did they make that so much? You know, I'm straight up going to watch the Illumination one right now and count how many minutes the Cindy Lou plotline takes up. I don't want to watch this, but here I go. Okay, so about in total, 11 minutes of this movie are dedicated to her planning on staying up and talking to Santa Claus. Something that any other version of this story takes like 0 seconds on. So that's already a problem. And it just adds absolutely nothing to the actual story. The worst thing is, even with the story they wanted to tell here, like, she wants to talk to Santa and wishes that he can make her mom happy. She's like, my mom is so stressed out and she does so much work for us and it's hard for her, I know. So please, if anyone can make her happy, you can, Santa Claus. Okay, cool. But the 11 minutes that she spent planning on telling Santa Claus that, they could have actually, like, grown, like, Cindy Lou and her mom and, like, made them actually strong characters. Every single time that they start a scene together, Cindy Lou's like, oh, I gotta go, Mom. I'm going to the North Pole. I'm going who knows where. I'm just roaming around. I'm a 5-year-old roaming around by myself. I don't need your supervision, Mom. It's so weird. They don't spend any time together, yet that's their entire plot line. Is like, oh, my mom's so busy and does so much for us, but we'd spend no time with either character doing anything of note. It's so empty. And what else is filling the time in this movie? Well, Max gets the Grinch a cup of coffee straight up like 4 times, dude. It's ridiculous. The Grinch sits at a table with Max, plays piano, is mad at Max for ruining his piano solo. Then he apologizes. Then he plays chess with Max. That's a 2-minute long scene. The Grinch travels to find a reindeer for his sleigh. That takes 3 minutes, dude. Jim Carrey Grinch forgot about the reindeer and last second was like, Max, you're my reindeer. That's it. That is it. This movie wastes so much time. Making matters worse is that there's a 2-minute and 30-some second long scene where the Grinch takes the sled that he stole on a test run. There's a whole scene where he steals a sled, like, whatever. He takes the sled on a test run, but then during that, the reindeer leaves to go back with his family. So the 3-minute scene where he found the reindeer was already pointless to begin with anyway. It's extra pointless. It was already superfluous filler. And then the reindeer leaves the movie. Bro, there's a scene where Grinch ties Max to a little drone to like collect footage of the town so he can calculate how many houses there are, and like, he's planning his big heist. One, why is he tying Max to the drone? Max is doing nothing to help this recording process. Like, what? He's just there for wacky animal hijinks. Oh no, and then of course it goes bad, and then more wacky hijinks. Blah, blah. It's more just stupid little nothing baby doo-doo baby cartoon filler. But again, just like the hanging moose reindeer thing, it's double filler. It is double filler because in the next scene, he goes to this room where he has a giant one-to-one replica of the entire town already made, and then he throws the data he just got off screen from flying Max around. He just throws that off screen because it's completely pointless. He already has a one-to-one replica of the whole town. Why is he flying Max around, recording everybody, being like, I'm doing these calculations. How many houses are in this place? You have a one-to-one replica. Why do you need a recording recorded by your dog on a drone? It's so filler. So cutting out the stuff I'm talking about right now, the stuff I think is just unapologetic filler that adds nothing to the movie, not even trying to tell any kind of story, it's just there to waste time. Cutting that stuff out, the movie is about like 59 minutes long. Oh, there's a minute-long scene where the Grinch gets in bed and goes to sleep. I'm like, I can't handle this movie. Nothing happens. Like, maybe it's supposed to be like, oh, Max is sleeping with him, and all the reindeer, he's so big, and he wants to sleep with the Grinch anyway, and he doesn't like it, but he might warm up to having friends, kind of thing. Like, that's the closest thing to anything there. But the thing is, the Grinch's convictions on hating Christmas are so unbelievably weak. Over and over and over again, they do this like baby storytelling where he looks at a family who are having a jolly old time together, and he just is taken aback, like, wow, I wish I had that. No, whoa, who, that's not me. I would never do that. That's nasty, ew. And then he's researching Santa Claus, and he's like, oh, look at the sugar plums on this page. Wow, doesn't that seem so jolly? Doesn't that fill you with joy? Wow, it's like a genuine emotion he's feeling. Clearly, it's baby foreshadowing, like, wow, maybe this guy doesn't actually hate Christmas. Maybe he's not totally heartless, but they do it in such a baby way that completely abandons the entire point of the character. To the point where it just feels like the Grinch in this movie is just really wants to be the main character. He's just walking around. Nobody even knows who he is in this movie. That's the funny thing. Not a single person knows who the Grinch is in the Illumination Grinch movie. He was like a cryptid in the live action one. People, the entire town was horrified of even like hearing this guy's name be uttered. In this one, he's walking around town, not even in disguise like Jim Carrey, because no one cares. No one cares about him. He's just pulling off bootleg wish.com Gru antics on people, and it's so lame. It's so tame. Ooh, bars. And it's so awkward to watch. Like, literally nobody cares what this guy does. He robs all of them of everything they own, and then they start singing like they do. And the problem is there's no characters in this movie, so there's no actual story any deeper than the original movie, the original short, I'm saying. So when he just decides, I'm returning this stuff. You guys are wholesome. I'm returning your stuff. So he gives back all of their gifts, and that is so awkward. Nobody says a word to him. There's no characters in the movie, so there's nobody to talk to him. It's the thing. He's just there. I'm like, I stole your Christmas. I'm sorry. And then he just awkwardly leaves. And then the finale of this movie is Cindy Lou climbs up to the mountain for the first time, mind you, and talks to the Grinch and is like, hey, we want you to come to dinner. And he's like, don't you know what I did to you? Don't I stole everything. I stole everything from you. Don't you know what I did? And then he's like so he he wants to be a main character so hard. He's like, wow, you really don't care what I did to you? Dang, that was my life's work. What the heck? And Cindy Lou's just like, yeah, I know, whatever. We're still inviting you. Like, they just feel bad for him, really, if anything. Like, if I can apply a motivation to nobody. 'Cause he goes to this party, and there's Cindy Lou, her mom, and the only other character in the entire movie with an extended amount of screen time is this random neighbor that is, oh, he's such a happy guy, so the Grinch hates him. So I didn't even count his scenes in the wasted filler. There's probably another like 30 seconds of him trying to sneak around this guy's house, and then, oh, he gets seen. Oh no, then the guy's like, Merry Christmas, and then Grinch is like, "Arr," and he leaves. There are so many scenes of the Grinch trying to sneak around this guy. There's a whole scene where he's stealing the sled on top of his house, and his dog keeps seeing him. Oh no, antics, and then repeatedly he's trying to sneak around this guy's house. Like, whatever, dude. There's no stakes. He just thinks he's the main character because he's the Grinch, but he's so lame. Because it's revealed his only backstory in this movie is that he was like alone on Christmas one year. That's his entire motivation for holding this grudge his entire lifetime. How old is this dude? This dude's like 50 years old. Like, he's been holding this grudge because he was alone one day on Christmas. And like I said, it's so frustrating because he clearly isn't that deep about it. He's not thinking that much about it. Like, the second he sees anybody having a heartwarming moment, he's like, wow, I wish I had that. No, I don't. Ew, ew. You know, like I said, like, and it's just so lame because his backstory is so weak. His convictions are so weak. You know, like, saying this out loud, when I say there's no characters in this movie, you'd be like, well, there's the Grinch, there's Cindy Lou, you know, of course. But the Grinch is such a nothing character, and Cindy Lou is such a nothing character. Even the main characters, I would say, don't count. Oh, the Grinch was alone on Christmas one day. Now he has a PTSD response to seeing Christmas lights. Like, multiple times in the movie, like, some Christmas lights flash at him, and he's like repelled by it. But like, oh no, my weakness. Like, it's, oh, I hate it. I hate it. Nothing is stopping him from going down there and having a nice Christmas with people and making friends. But he has this really forced Facebook minion mom attitude about Christmas, and it's so cringe to watch. It's self-inflicted entirely. It's entirely self-inflicted because that's his only personality trait and he doesn't want to drop it. Jim Carrey Grinch was able to portray that he's a lonely, sad individual without completely shattering the illusion of his character, because he truly is stuck in that cave just rotting by himself. Nobody will give him a chance. Which is where Cindy Lou comes in, because she doesn't like Christmas either, so she kind of relates to the Grinch. And you know, there's that whole thing, everything in the live action one happens because of Cindy Lou, right? If she wasn't in that movie wouldn't have happened at all. Like, the Grinch would have stole Christmas, and he wouldn't have cared. Because without Cindy Lou, the town would have devolved into like anger, and like they wouldn't have made their cute little Who circle and started singing. Cindy Lou is what made them all realize they were being insane, and you know, taught the whole lesson to the entire town. She got the Grinch to grow a heart. It's got like a proper emotional and climactic ending, but in the Illumination one, it's so flat. It's the most like abrupt, nothing ending I've ever seen in my life. He returns the stuff, and like I said, nobody cares. He's like, I'm sorry, I stole your stuff, and everyone's just silent, and he just walks away awkwardly. And then he's invited to dinner, and then he goes to dinner, and he's like, I'm not used to this. They answered the door. I wore a tie. Oh, what a nice tie that is. And then he goes inside. And he has a pleasant evening. then he stands up and makes a speech because he needs to be the center of attention 24/7, even though he's nobody. And of course, there is the other like surface level stuff everyone always says. You know, this is a bad version of the Grinch. He doesn't even match his own theme song, which is, like I said, that's valid, but I think it's kind of missing the forest for the trees a little bit, because I'm like, if the movie was actually good, I wouldn't really care. I don't mind seeing different interpretations of like iconic characters. I think that's always kind of fun. He does stand out, but it's just he's so lame, and it's impossible not to draw a comparison. Like these Who's bring out their giant tree, and Illumination Grinch is like, I'm gonna throw a giant snowball at it. And then you think back about what the Jim Carrey one did. He goes over there and lights it on fire, and he's sitting there like, burn, burn. Like, that's just what I mean, but it makes the older one so much more fun in hindsight because of how tame the newer one is. And the old one, of course, had a story to go along with it. He was there. He gave them a chance on their silly little Whovilation festival. He didn't want to be there, but you know what? He was convinced. He'll give them this one chance to have a decent time, and he wasn't really even expecting that much. But then, of course, the mayor pulls up old wounds, and it's just everything that he always hated. He's like, yeah, but you guys are still awful. I hate all of you. You're the worst. You're all fake. You're all fake, he says. He doesn't say that, but he basically does. So good storytelling, good motivations, and it's just a fun scene. He's over here trampling children in the the bag race, and everyone's got these fun costumes. Like I said, it's such a good energy. It's so alive and fun, and there's so much going on. And even though you're watching the Grinch and basically being on his side about how the town sucks and Christmas is the worst, you're still getting the Christmas spirit because of just how much energy and fun is in the movie. It's so well made, really. Illumination Grinch's antics are so tame that like everyone's response is like, dang, you're a jerk. What's your problem? That wasn't very nice type stuff, and he's sitting there cackling to himself like he's the most evil mastermind on the planet. Bro, someone wanted to buy jelly and he threw it on the floor, dude. It's not all that. Like, really, you can make an entire analysis video just comparing the two on their own, just because it's fun. Like, the Jim Carrey Grinch is introduced, like, in the shadows. You don't really quite see him very well. He's eating full onions. Bro eats glass, dude. He just shatters glass and eats it. His socks are so filthy, they're alive. This dude's nasty. And this Grinch is like, I pushed over someone's snowman. Jingle bells, Christmas smells. And can I just say, I hate the voice acting in this movie in general. Like, it's all bad, but like, especially the Grinch. He has this just gross tone in his voice the entire movie. I hate it. And actually, maybe I might hate the kid characters more. Cindy Lou and her friends, they all talk in this like annoying way. I don't even know how to describe it. They're all trying to sound genuine in such a forced way. They're like acting and talking like they're 10, 20 years older, and they're so real with each other, and it's cringe. It's ultimate. I don't even believe in cringe. I love cringe. I like the Sing movies. Those are cringe. This is cringe, dude. It just feels super performative, just like her mom being so overworked and tired and sacrificing her whole existence to raise her kids because she's just that good of a mom. I'm like, okay, that's a really good plot that they could have told, but they're dedicated to not having a plot. Like I said, they wasted the entire runtime on Cindy Lou planning to talk to Santa Claus instead of really selling how much work her mom puts in. We get no time with them. It's so boring because there's no story. They're not trying to tell a story. There's so little material here that they have to spend like 10 seconds framing her mom making her kids toast and putting jelly on it as some Herculean effort that you're supposed to be like, wow, she's a super mom. And it's so lazy and it's cringe. It is so cringe. I don't know, I'll stop. I'll end it here, I think. There's not much to say about this movie, really. Like, this movie does not warrant like a play-by-play. This is what happens here, and this is what happens here. Like, y'all don't want to follow this movie from beginning to end because there's no content there to even discuss. So, this is just completely unscripted, just off the top of my head, just like free flowing this whole video. If you've never seen the Illumination one, like, it's some homework for you, I guess. Like, watch the Jim Carrey one, and just every single scene that happens, just imagine if that wasn't there. Imagine if that wasn't in the movie, but the movie was still just as long. Like, imagine the Grinch's entire intro where those kids are climbing up the mountain to like meet him, and they not even necessarily believe he exists, you know, that whole scene. That's not there. He doesn't have a cool introduction. Any scene with the mayor, well, the mayor's not a character, so any scenes with him in it are just not in the new movie. Any scene with Martha May Who, any scene with Cindy Lou's dad, because she doesn't have a dad in this one. There's no Whovelation. Any scene where Cindy talks to the Grinch or even knows about the Grinch's existence. But until the very end of the movie, none of that. This Cindy Lou doesn't know who the Grinch is until the last like 5 minutes of the movie. So just every single scene on the Grinch's entire backstory sequence, there's nothing in the Illumination one. I can't make it more clear. There is nothing happening. You watch the Jim Carrey one, if it's in that one, it's safe to assume it's not in the new one. Literally unless it's like the scene where he steals Christmas. And even then, I feel like the Illumination one really rushes that scene. Because in the live action one, there's characters! He goes to the mayor's house, he goes to Martha May Who's house, he goes to Cindy Lou's house. Like, there's actual... Like, he's setting all these like traps for people, like, specifically, so it makes it more personal, versus the new one that's just super performative for the camera, like always, because there's no substance there in the new one. In the Illumination one, the movie ends with the town inviting this guy they don't know to Christmas dinner because they feel sorry for him, I guess. In the old one, they all go to his house because kind of they realize they've wronged him in a way, maybe, you know, and he realizes to open his heart to them. They realize they've been shallow. They all come together, and no, they never would have imagined going to his house for Christmas dinner, right? And that's a cool thing. And also, the Grinch doesn't have this 180 turn of character where he's like the most wholesome. He's just as wholesome as everyone else now. No, he's still kind of a jerk, right? At the end of the Jim Carrey one, like that's what the movie ends on, him like heckin' trolling people. And but then he's so wholesome in the Illumination one because wow, he got what he always truly wanted. Like, big shock, like 20 minutes into the Illumination one, you're already fantasizing about having friends. Like, whatever. Dang, I really said I was gonna end it and just kept talking, didn't I? This is a completely unscripted thing, obviously, from how this is laid out. Only thing I'd be remiss to not bring up the music in this, the little vocal theme songs they do. They are bad. I love them. Now that's cringe I can learn to love. They are bad. I can't. I was just roaming around the house, like singing them to myself the other day, and making myself like crack up because of how stupid they are. They just drone on every single line with this like hip hop like approach to the classic song or whatever. Like, like, you're a mean one. Your heart's an empty hole. Shit, spams that Johnny Test whip sound effect like every other line. I wouldn't touch you with a 95 and a half whip hole. Mr. Grinch. I got a dog. His name is Max. He coughed in my cup. That is a fact. 25 days of the month. Yeah, these awful songs and some of the Grinch's awful line delivery are like some of the only actual like enjoyment I get out of this one. But yeah, I will actually stop now, I think. Challenging myself to get a video out in 2 days instead of like 2 to 3 years, so yeah, I guess I did it. Haha. Less polished than my Chicken Little video, but also like I actually somewhat passionate about Chicken Little because I really don't understand why people hate it that much. But like this one, like what? Don't watch this one. Just watch the original short, if anything, dude. Read the original book. I would say this is definitely the worst of the Dr. Seuss adaptations. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't agree because I think, from what I've seen online, people actually tend to like the Illumination Grinch. I think, like the average person. And I think if you haven't really like gotten into any other versions of the Grinch, the original story shines through kind of like it's there, but they didn't have a single creative bone in their body to like warrant retelling it. Like, just watch the original version, if not the Jim Carrey one, which is so good. But yeah, this is the worst one to me. Like, the Lorax has very similar problems with being very filler heavy, for sure, but there's at least things to appreciate about it. Like, Danny DeVito as the Lorax, excellent. The Onceler was like a whole societal movement in some spaces. Live action Cat in the Hat, I like it. It's pretty questionable, but it's still way more fun than this. The what is it? Horton Hears a Who by Blue Sky, I think. I actually really didn't like Jim Carrey as Horton in that, but I think they nailed the Who side of things in that one. The Whoville in that movie is a lot of fun. If they could have just matched that energy with this, it would have been maybe something. Alright, I'm gonna call it here for realsies this time. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, fellas. Have a good one. Whee! One last thing I don't like, cherry on top, the Grinch introduces himself as Grinch in this movie. He says, "I'm Grinch," when he introduces himself, and something about that just felt really weird to hear. That he's the Grinch, like, yeah, I guess it's his name, but it's almost like a title, like he's the Grinch. Like in like every instance, they refer to him as the Grinch, but he's like, yeah, I'm Grinch. My name's Grinch. Here's my friend Grinch. Maybe not a valid like criticism, maybe, but like I just didn't like hearing it. I mean, you know, on a metaphysical sense, maybe you could say he's Grinch, whereas the other versions are the Grinch. This one's not the Grinch. You know, he doesn't deserve the full title. I call him Cringe because he's cringe as heck.